Hello friends, welcome to Make Money While You Sleep community and channel. My name is Varun and today we are going to learn how we can manage risk and money while trading options on a margin account. Couple of disclaimers, this content is purely for educational purpose and it is not intended to be an investment or a financial advice. So let's jump onto right on the topic. So I have tried to cover all of the things what we can do to manage our risk and money when we are selling options. This is mainly for the margin account because if you are on a cash account, you really do not have that much of a risk. Yes, of course, you have a risk of losing money if trade goes against you, but you are not in a dire risk of losing money or you're losing the whole account itself, right? Because you're not leveraging yourself as part of your cash account. And even in within options, my strategies or my suggestion on manage risk and money management is about selling options. And here is my thought. When you are buying options, you are basically giving a premium and giving a risk to somebody else who is selling that option to you. So risk management becomes way more important when you are selling option, when you are writing options, instead of when you are buying options. Because when you are buying options, you are not taking risk. You are speculating and giving away risk to somebody else, right? So this is important when you are selling options, way more important when you are selling options as compared to when you're buying options. And to think it in a different way is when you are selling options, you are basically working just like an insurance company, right? And you have to think of all those parameters to calculate how much risk you can take as a company, what will be the premium you will need to have, and all sort of things because you are going to make money by doing that risk management. So before we get in an options trade, which is about selling an option, we should do all these steps. And then if you are comfortable and you think everything is good, or at least part of it is good, then you should do that trade confidently. So number one step is about calculating underlying total notional value. So what is notional value? Notional value is nothing but the strike price multiplied by quantity of contracts multiplied by 100. Simple. So it's a total value of your trade. Let me show you an example. So when we talk about Tesla, let's say sell a put at a strike of how much? 500. So my notional value is 500 multiplied by one quantity of contract multiplied by 100, which is the number of stocks. All right, which will become $50,000. So whenever you are selling an option, you should always also think in terms of what is the notional value you are trading. And that if that notional value is comfortable for you and the movement in that notional value is also comfortable for you, let's say if a stock goes 10% or 20% up or down, then that particular strike, are you comfortable to manage that particular risk? If you are, then yes, this is fine. But if you are not, then no. So for example, in Tesla, if 50,000 is our notional value and Tesla makes a move of around 10%, so that will be a $5,000 move, right? So if you are comfortable with that $5,000 move and you can manage that situation, then only you should enter in this trade. As compared to a stock which is of $50, and that the 10% of that $50 stock, one contract, is going to be just $500, right? So that's a huge difference. So you should always look at the notional value and figure out what is your comfortability factor uh, while trading that stock. All right. The second part is option spreads. So if you think that the risk is too much in a particular underlying on a trade, then you should try to make a spread. What is a spread? A spread is nothing but is along with putting a sell order, you should also put a buy order of the same type. So for example, I have Tesla of 500 here. So along with that, if I put a order of 480, which is a buy order, so now I am buying a put at 480 and I'm selling a put for 500 and I'm collecting some money as well. So now my total liability is for only 20 between these two trades multiply by 100 and multiply by number of quantity. That is $2,000. So that is my maximum liability here. And if you see, it is showing 1908, which is around 2000 minus my credit here. So because credit I have already got, so it is near to that. So that is my maximum liability, guys. But overall, when you are trying to calculate, in your mind, it's very simple to calculate just a difference multiplied by 100. All right. So if you're not comfortable with getting into that trade because of the notional value, maybe you would want to have these spreads and then enter into those trades. So this is another way where you can manage your risk as well as your money, okay, before entering into the trade. The third is diversification. Diversification should be very straightforward. It is all about putting your money in different kind of stocks, in different kind of sectors, so that your money does not get stuck in just one place, in one stock or in one sector. The fourth item which I wanted to discuss is position sizing. Never get into the greed having multiple contracts and a large size contracts, because remember, we already are dealing with 100 stocks in one contract. And if we put a lot of contracts on a stock, we are first of all not diversifying ourselves, as well as we are putting too much risk in one particular stock. And suppose that stock does not work in our favor, then we are taking too much risk. So always, it is always better that you have multiple positions in different stocks, and all those sizings are different. And this particular point is not valid for somebody who has got a bigger portfolio and they have got a lot of money. But if you are starting small, then better to keep smaller positions. All right. Another idea here within position sizing is, if you want, you may also want to decide whether you want to always have like 2% or 5% of your total amount or total cash value in a particular underlying. So for example, let's say you have got $100,000 portfolio or your $100,000 cash in your broker account. So you don't want to put more than $5,000 stuck in any of the stock. So that is your 5% rule. All right. So that is another way you can think of position sizing. And whenever you size your uh, contracts or positions, you always allocate that amount of money only, not more than that. So it can be 5% or maybe 7%, not more than that. That is a maximum limit. And generally you should try to have just like 1% or 2% of your position sizing in one particular underlying. Okay. So next is risk and reward ratio. You should also know that what is the risk you are taking by putting that amount of money at risk. So for example, in this particular trade, I am making $92 by putting 1908 in the risk. It does not mean that this trade is bad. Yes, but this trade is definitely paying us less. That is what it means. It has got risk of 1908 divided by 92. So 1908 divided by 192. So my risk to reward ratio is around 20 here, which is really high in my opinion. So I don't think it's a good trade. But the point over here is, you should always calculate your risk to reward ratio, and good risk to reward ratio is 2 is to 1 or 4 is to 1. That could be your good risk to reward ratio. All right. The next item is stop limit order. So this is something I'm going to experiment further, and I will see how efficient it is when we are selling options. But I will just give you an example of how it is going to work. So for example, I am already making 65% in my FCL order. So what I can do is I can put a stop limit order, so that if F cell goes down and my this percent 65.6% profit starts getting into the loss of making losing money. So instead of losing that money, I can put a stop limit order here, get out of this trade in a profitable situation. So how will I do this in sell order? So I will go here, and right now to close this trade profitably at 65% profit, I have to pay $45. Maybe I can do something like 88, okay, and stop limit of 88. I'm just putting a stop limit order. So I'm going to experiment this further, but the idea is, right now if I want to close my trade, it is at 44, 0.44 or 44. I'm putting a double of that amount. So once my premium becomes 0.88 or $88, then this trade is going to be executed. So basically stock is making me lesser money. It is going down. That's why it is making me lesser money. And when it reaches to this level, I would want to exit. I don't want to take further risk. So I'll just make $160 instead of making some good amount. I think some 350 or something I was making earlier. As soon as it will hit this particular limit, my trade will be executed. All right. So this is something I am going to test further. I have not tested this in my sell options, so I'm going to test this one further. But this is another strategy where we can manage our risk and come out of a situation where market is trying to correct itself. The next topic is hedging. Hedging is nothing but, in this case, we can buy put while we are selling or trade options order. We can also buy a put, so and we hedge ourselves. All right. This is pretty much same as spread, but I will show you how we can do it differently. So for example, I have got all these things, all these stocks in my account, but now I want to hedge myself. So let's say I will go to SPY and I will buy a hedge for 390. Okay. So now this is a debit transaction where I'm buying a put of 390 and I'm saving myself from market going down. Okay. How many quantities and all, it depends on how much risk I have to manage, but this is one way. Now if I want to go more advanced, what I can do is um, I will buy a put of 390, but I will sell a put at 380. How will that help? It will help in saving my insurance premium. Okay. So if you see now, I am paying 258 as debit transaction and I have made this as a vertical. So now I am expecting that, okay, this market may go below 390. So I need an insurance for that, but I am pretty confident that it will not go below 380. Again, we cannot know, but I'm just saying, if you have that kind of mindset in your already thought process that this will not go below this particular threshold, then you can put that particular limit as a sell put. Okay. So that is the idea. The last pointer, when before getting into an option trade, especially the selling side, is having cash. So you should always have open buying power in your account. And as per my rule, you should always have 25% to 50% of cash in your account of your total portfolio when you are selling options. This is very important because when market will correct, you will need that amount of money to manage your risk, to manage your existing trades, as well as to do more adjustments on top of those trades which are losing, right? So this cash is important for you. It is not important when you are doing trade on cash account because your whole cash itself is there as a collateral. So it is not that important. Also, it is not that important if you are just buying options or you are just dealing with stocks. But when you are selling options, it is really important that you have cash, because when things will not go in your favor, that cash is going to safeguard you. All right, so these are all of the things which you should keep in mind before you get in an options trade. And then if you have got in a trade already and then it goes against you, you have to do the adjustment for loss minimization. So as part of your adjustments, what all you can do, let's say you are selling a put, the trade starts going against you, you can start selling call. Again, depending on what is the movement of stock, you can decide the strike price. So for example, in FSLY, I had 90 put, but the stock went until 75. So now I am also selling a call of 90 so that I can collect some more premium. All right. So now I have got 90 put and 90 call, and I have made this as a straddle. So this is one of the adjustment I have done so that I can collect more premium and I can minimize my losses. Okay. Now if your stock recovers, then it is well and good, but otherwise I am going to make some more amount of minimization of my loss. So guys, this is what we can do as part of our risk and money management and can keep our account safeguarded from any market correction situations. All right. We have to be very diligent nowadays because market might correct again. So all these things we should definitely bring in our trading strategy. So that's it, guys. Feel free to give me any feedback and ask your questions, and I'll see you soon and have a great day. Goodbye.